you introduce it because you have a little more knowledge on the topic. It's all you, man. Go for it.
Yeah, man. Basically, I don't know if anybody listening is from Ohio or from, the Northwest Ohio area, but at the end of the day, it was kind of a fluke story because I'm not meaning the story was fake. I'm talking about how it was televised. Was kind of what bothered me because I remember being from a small little town called Bowling Green, Ohio. It's actually a city, but the places we lived is kind of a mini.
In
But
Ohio, yes, it is a city.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But long story short, man, it was a guy named Richard Schmidt, and he had owned a sports store in the Bowling Green Mall, the Woodland Mall in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, man, he was a convicted felon. He has served 12, 13 years in prison. I've gotten different, different numbers from multiple sources about how many he actually served.
Yeah.
Um, but he was convicted of manslaughter. He had killed a Hispanic man at a stoplight for a minor traffic altercation, and
Mm-hmm.
the Spanish man had two guys with him. And long story short, this guy that Richard Schmidt shot these guys, all of them, all three of them, but he killed the Hispanic man.
Yeah.
So hence he got manslaughter, 13 years in prison. Well, years later, after he had gotten out, obviously he's still on parole. He managed his way into owning a sports store in the Bowling Green Mall. And mind you, the Woodland Mall is very small. So
Yeah.
growing up around the Bowling Green area, man, that's where we went and hung out. We watched movies out there. Long story short, man, I ended up going to seeing this guy a lot of times.
Yeah,
I
man.
bought jerseys from him. It's hard telling. I probably bought some, Lakers stuff, some Raiders stuff, Notre Dame stuff. I just small shit here and there. Probably even some sports cards. But my biggest memory with this guy was I had saved up all these cards my whole life, sports cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there to sell them, man, to buy some beers,
Yeah.
get some beer money one day when I was in my, early 20s or something. And he gave me $100 for like a shit ton of cards, which I was cool with. I was like, all right, man, $100, bet. Walk out happy. It is what it
Yeah.
is. I ain't got to sell them on eBay, whatever. So long story short, man, shortly after, I walk out of that motherfucker with $100, wash my hands. But I kept coming back in there because I could buy Lakers stuff. And in Ohio, you couldn't find Lakers shit,
Yeah.
right? But it was all coming from China. So the
Yeah.
FBI busted this guy for selling counterfeit jerseys. I still have a jersey in there, actually, a Kobe jersey, from him that I had bought back in the day. And I remember, man, like hearing this story
Mm-hmm.
about I walked in the mall one day and that store was gone. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, classic BG Mall. Finish line can't stand there. You ain't gonna have a little sports store in that motherfucker for very
Yeah.
long. So long story short, man, I remember, asking my mom, like, damn, man, this sports store is gone. So we ended up going to Toledo one time to buy basketball shoes when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But after I got out of high school, I remember seeing that this guy had been arrested. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like the same dude. I remember his face. He looked like that motherfucker in the movie Joe Dirt, dog. The man that put
Yeah.
lotion on his
Yeah,
skin and
man.
shit. Man, you know what I'm saying? Asking for
Yeah. I've
arbitrators and
seen
shit.
him,
Put him in
man.
the
Yeah.
hole, GT. Put him in the hole. He looked just like this guy.
Yeah,
He had
man.
the same weird ass vibe, same weird vibe. And he was one of those guys you couldn't get a word in. He just had to talk. He had to control the conversation. He was a fucking schizo, man. And you
Mm-hmm.
could just tell. But you didn't think about it. You were just trying to buy something for cheap.
Yeah,
Some
man.
sports shit, as a kid. So long story short, man, this guy had been arrested because he was stockpiling weapons. And they found GT names, addresses, routes of him stalking and trying to set up a mass murder
Mm.
of these NCAA CP leaders, man, these Jewish leaders in Detroit, Toledo. And the reason why we want to talk about this tonight, man, is because, it's close to home
Yeah,
and
man.
it got no news coverage at all.
Yeah, I didn't hear about
And this
it
guy
that
was a
much.
convicted felon. He had 40,000 rounds of ammunition, and he
Yeah.
was literally a local homegrown terrorist.
Yeah.
And he's serving 6 years. So long story short, he gets out next year.
Oh, man.
And I think it's crazy because with everything going on right now, it's always been going on. Now it's just being brought to light. I believe that this guy is a perfect example of special treatment, man. And it gets to the point to where, you know, being from a place like Bowling Green,
Yeah.
you know, never having to really, you know, there was always some race shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had the racist cops in town. We had the cops that would pull my roommates over, my brothers over, just because.
Yeah, man.
And you know, it got to a point, shit like that, but never on this scale was it like that. That I remember in Bowling Green.
No, it
But it
was
was always
never.
it was always a quiet existence of this systemic racism.
Yeah.
You know, it was always this quiet shit that was going on. Everybody knew it.
Mm-hmm.
No one wanted to talk about it because it was uncomfortable, but we did.
Yeah, we always
We
did,
sat
man.
in college, we sat and drank 6 out of the 7 days a week. Mom,
Allegedly.
mom, you were there. Okay, I can't get in trouble.
No, we're good.
But you know, I mean, it was one of those things that's what we did. We sat at the round table and we discussed things and we got through it, and it became,
Yeah,
you know, the backbone for all of us. I mean, we had a group of 30 motherfuckers, man, that came through all the time.
I'm all over the
Give or
place,
take a
man.
couple dudes here
Yeah,
and there, all the places we lived, you know, all the shit we did, man. Like it was just an open, and not everybody was like that. But we
yeah.
were
No,
open, we were always open with them. Okay, you're racist, come in here and talk to us about it.
that's the key, man.
You know,
I
I'm
think that's the
Caucasian
key.
and Native American. You know, a lot of these kids don't even know what they are. They don't want to know.
Yeah,
They just know what they're told.
yeah,
You know, and I hate to say it, but America feels more, that town of Bowling Green, that city of Bowling Green feels more comfortable having a guy like that in control and owning a store
yeah,
than they do an Arab guy that's completely clean.
yeah, man.
Or to speak on this in this day and age, an Asian man or any other guy that they cannot place in a certain fucking box right away.
Yeah,
And I was always one of those guys. Nobody knew what the fuck I was. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those in between motherfuckers. And they just could not place me.
yeah.
It got me a lot more women. Honey,
That's
I'm
another
sorry. I didn't
topic.
know. I got my ring on. It's on. All right. But you know, I mean, it's just one of those things, man, that it bothers me that this guy can, you know, do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, he has a fucking hit list. He's a
yeah,
terrorist.
yeah, man.
He's a homegrown terrorist.
It's a crazy story to think about. Like, obviously, for those of you who know, we talked about this before. We met in Bowling Green, so I went to college there, and I'm sure I went to the BG Mall. I mean, probably my first 2 years, we went a lot because it was the easiest place to go
That's
to
you went
buy
there.
stuff.
You went there and bought your Levi's.
Yeah, you went there to buy Levi's and Wranglers and everything else you bought. But we went there, we bought stuff. We went to the movies, you did things there because it was the only kind of late night thing outside of bars you can go to.
Yeah.
And so we went there. But yeah, I'm sure I frequent the store a lot, but you never knew. I guess, like you said, in our group of friends or people we knew or people who were around us in our circle of friends, of their friends, it was always an open table. When you come to our house, you came to hang out with at 802 or Copper Beach or any